Hey everybody, welcome to the Limited Night podcast, now live. And today I have some very beautiful people with me. By the way, I'm Kevin. And first, got Adam here, the beautiful, precious beast of Limited Night. We have
Hello,
James, the striking intellectual. He's always there
Sure,
to bring
I'll go
conversation.
Well,
And then we have Tim.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Tim, the dirty Eagles fan.
Dirty.
Listen, all right, let's not get into that.
Say my entire get up here wholly is because Tim decided to show up with an Eagles hat, so I had to outdo him.
I got out of the
Team
bar, I put a
sportsmanship.
cap on, and I caused World War III.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
I also
So much
have
the
this
cap,
other
it's
signed
just
mini
who it
helmet thing.
represents.
Eagles all the way.
Okay, so
I could go on how much stuff I have in this room, but I'm not going
Let's
to.
not do that.
no, that we're not, this
Okay.
isn't the sports memorabilia podcast, much as you want it to be.
Well,
Oh, we
Well,
should
it should
totally
be.
do that.
There's a new show.
That'd be fun.
Trademark.
Oh, okay.
The
So
problem is Kevin couldn't host it.
true, I couldn't. I wouldn't know what's going on. I'd be like, so this is a hockey stick with the name on it. Pretty good.
So,
Pretty
welcome
good.
to sports talks.
Yeah, but anyways, so this is our second live podcast ever, guys. It's crazy.
It's the second.
It's crazy.
I'm here for it. We
Wait,
did it.
We're doing.
It's
this
gone so
live now.
quickly.
I
This
know.
week actually has gone really quickly. I feel like it wasn't that long ago we were sitting down doing this.
True. We don't have Davey today.
That's gone pretty quick. Yeah.
He's in the chat, but
Well, we should probably clear something up that the first live episode was definitely not going to be a regular occurrence, and it wasn't going to be like that because, I mean, granted, the stream is pretty manic, but we want the podcast to be a little less so.
yeah. I mean, it probably won't be. Yeah, we'll try.
We can only try and hope. That's the aim.
Yeah, but
I know the whole goal is not really to interact with the chat for the podcast, but I just want to point out one thing that the second we hit live, Pyro said, "You're late." He was here from the very beginning.
Oh,
So
thanks,
just want to
Pyro.
give a shout out
Well done.
to
Yeah,
him who showed up before the intro rolled.
if you are listening to this any other time than right now, which you won't know until I explain the rest of it, this is live recorded on Friday 9 p.m. GMT. So if you want to come and watch it, you can have a look at the YouTube channel. Links will be on the below.
totally. But I just wanted to say, I think this format's, so far I'm liking. I don't know. I feel like
There's more pressure.
there's more pressure to do it right, but
You can't fuck up.
can't fuck up. But then again, at the same time, even if you fuck up, there's a chance to fix it. You have the live chat to tell you wrong, and so
That's
it's kind of
true.
nice to obviously want to do it first try, so we don't worry about that. But it's still nice to have that little help.
It's also the only time we really get to see each other,
That's
True.
true.
if you think about it.
It's weird. I'm kind of getting used to Kevin's new because Kevin moved and he had like a room change, and I had seen a bit of that. Adam in the same way, but like James, your house has always been the same with you. Explain your figurines behind you there.
The figurines. They are DC and Marvel collectible lead figurines I collected for quite a while. I've got
Are they
loads
from,
more in another room as well.
Are they from like a certain collection or some kind of like?
It's those part work things you can buy where like sometimes you see them advertising. It's like build the HMS whatever in 5,000 magazines for £1.79 a magazine.
Nice.
And each time you get it's like that, but they were just figurines and you got a comic book with them.
Mhm.
But I've got that cabinet, and then I got another cabinet in the other room, which you obviously won't see because that's my bedroom and no one's going in there. Which
What have
is
you got
about
in there?
4 times the size of it. Just
Is it
just
whips
looks like
and
a
change?
shit old him, and I don't really
Yeah.
want to see it.
Guys,
Alright?
that sexy stuff in there.
No, God no.
Your
You
lingerie.
can't. You can't because his bed is actually elevated for different positions.
Well,
Hey,
it does have the storage underneath you can lift up to him.
Oh, that is sexy.
Oh, I know.
Storage is always sexy.
We're going on about James' collectible. Does anybody else have anything to collect that's not sports memorabilia?
Oh, fuck.
Adam's like,
But
what about
hold
all
on,
this?
Kevin, I have all these things.
And bearing in mind, this
No.
will at some point be an audio podcast,
Yeah.
Adam. So let's not just it's not a show and tell. Welcome to
I could
5
go on
minutes
about how many
listening to,
bobbleheads I have.
And here's this.
Huh?
And here's this.
Ooh, look at
This
this.
is a white piece of crap. What is that? I instantly just went and talked about something visual.
So, anyways, Tim, so what
Yeah.
do you like collecting? Your sorrows?
Yeah, I collect my thoughts, and then I collect sanity, and then I drop it. I don't really collect anything. I'm just looking around the room to see if there's anything I collect. I collect nothing. I'm not a hoarder. I hate hoarding.
So
Sorry.
can we talk about what the fuck is going on with the planet right now?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
there's 3 hurricanes going on right now. There was an 8.0 earthquake in Mexico yesterday. The Earth so far has been hit by 2 solar flares over the past 2 days, and it's projected to hit a third one today.
The end of days.
And yeah, there's
Kevin,
there's
just check this out.
wildfires burning in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know. We haven't been affected. I mean, we had thunderstorms in the UK today, so if that adds to the drama, I don't really think it's on the same spectrum. No, not really.
Yeah.
It was in the village next to me anyway, so
Some
I don't
person
know.
lost their house yesterday because a giant wind blew it away, and we've got a little bit of rain on our cars.
It's pretty awful, to be fair. It's every now and then, honestly, I will sit down and think, is this worse than last year? Is this the end? Is it coming? You don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
This
It's
is depressing.
like it won't be. It won't be, and it
Join
won't be
us-
the next time, and it won't be the
Join us
next
there
time. But
until the end. We'll be
at
here
some
until
point,
the end.
we'll
There's
be
some
here,
now while you can.
live
May
streaming
not
to
be
the
here
end.
soon.
Uh,
Adam and Kevin get blown away.
at least people in your country don't think that your prime minister causes the weather. Well, they probably
Yeah,
do.
that's true.
Right?
Do you know
Somebody
what
does.
all this proves, though? All this weather proves is simply that Trump and Kim Jong Un can attempt to start a nuclear war all they want, but there's nothing more powerful than nature. Like, nature's done more damage than they've done yelling at each other.
Yeah, that might be true for now, unless they decide to do something.
Well, yeah, to be fair, yelling at each other isn't going to do much, but if they actually start a nuclear war, then I really think that might be more powerful than nature has been so far.
And the thing about that is it's way more long-lasting.
Or a
You
nuke
can't-
is as powerful as nature, then? Would you prefer that analogy? Like, I mean, this hurricane is almost as devastating for the people on that island as it is as a nuclear bomb would be.
Who would win?
What, a
Well,
nuke or a
I guess
hurricane?
the only way to find out is if we send a nuke into the hurricane.
It's the only way to
That's-
counteract the
That's how
force.
that's how we get rid of it. Yeah.
So
no,
did you hear? I think this thing started as a joke, but there's about 58,000 people in Florida right now who have fans pointing towards where the hurricane is supposed to be coming from to try and blow it away.
I saw an event. I saw an event pop up on Reddit, which was called Meetup. It was a Facebook meetup, which is everyone shoot guns at the hurricane, and it was just a person shooting their gun up
God.
in the sky, and they're having a meetup where that is what they were going to do.
The funny part about that was you could tell it's a joke because there was a dude who had like his fan, but he was also wearing a helmet. And he had like a sniper scope on his fan, like looking at the direction. It was so awesome.
Like, he's going to be the most accurate bloody fan attack artist ever.
That's-
I made up that title because there isn't one.
yeah,
God.
you're right. There probably shouldn't be.
They're probably no. I don't think that's a title we ever need. Although that's one of the things that I didn't actually want to talk about or didn't think about talking about. Is definitely a fair point we could talk about. Is with jobs going away, what other crazy jobs can you see being like a full-time thing that people do? Because my concept is that we're going to be working. So obviously you've got Amazon firing people so they can speed up the machines to run around faster because it's less health and safety. You've got Domino's are releasing drones now that are driving around delivering pizzas. You've got Uber who are now looking at buying in, just self-driving cars. All of these people are going to eventually need something to do, whether that's an actual job or just like, I don't know, maybe they go make a YouTube site.
They're
That's
gonna wash the
future-proofing.
robots. Wash all the robots.
They're going to have robots that wash the robots.
Yeah, but
That's
who's
gonna
gonna
be
wash-
the thing.
But
Who's
who's
gonna
gonna
watch-
watch
yeah.
those robots?
Yeah.
The robot washers.
It's
They're
gonna
going to be
rush the robots who wash
they're
the
going to be
robots,
self-cleaning. They're just going to wash each other. It'll be like a weird robot porn. It's like they
Yeah,
start.
but, well, they're
See,
off
but I've
washing
always
each
thought
other,
that's
and there's
really
nobody
weird.
delivering the pizza.
Yeah.
Isn't that the really pointless point about the film I, Robot, though?
I would
That
like
we've
to
got
make.
robots and they don't do anything.
I
Or
would
we
like to
don't-
make a
we still
porn.
work.
I would like to make a porn, please. Where that typical porn scene
Yes,
that
Tim,
the pizza delivery guy comes up and he's got like his dick in the pizza, but it's just the Domino's delivery and it's just got like a dildo
Road, yeah. I don't have enough money to pay.
Right,
The other way.
I'm going to reveal some worrying information. There is genuinely a porn channel that does that.
What?
Receiving
Not
sex bribe.
not the robot bit. That there is a porn thing where the opening gambit to every episode is a pizza delivery guy who comes with his dick stuck in a pizza.
I know that's a common trope.
Yeah,
it's a porn trope.
It's
Is it?
That's like a really common genre.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm not as versed as clearly as that as you
The
are.
other one is the pool
James
boy.
is so
Those
satisfied
are the
with his
two most
his
popular
tall bed.
positions.
Did anyone have anything?
My bed storage, yes.
Did anyone have anything in particular they wanted to talk about? Because I'm really itching to talk about this one thing, and I don't want to interrupt anyone.
Go ahead, Tim.
You can go for it. I already said my thing about the world ending.
That was an accurate conversation. So as you guys know, the Twitter for Limited Night is the Limited Night or at the Limited Night, and the reason for that is when I went to go and get at Limited Night, that was already taken. I went on there, had a look at it at Limited Night, and it's a really dead Twitter page. I think it was like 2010 it started. It's a nightclub, and it's just called Limited Night Nightclub. It had like 6 tweets, and then it stopped 8 years and years and years ago. And I didn't think much of it until maybe 2 days ago. I was like, I'm going to see if I can get in touch with them and be like, can I have that Twitter, please? You know, is there any way we can organize this? And I read a little bit closer into it, and it was saying like, click here for this link to go into a Google Sheets where you can sign up to be an escort or a prostitute.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, this is an unusual. Is this in like some country where that's legal? So I started doing a bit of digging. Obviously, I had to do my research on that particular subject, and I was like,
this is where Tim tells us he's folding Limited Night to join Limited Night.
I need to go and investigate these. I need to go investigate these nightclubs and find out what's going on. It turns out it's a Second Life.
Oh.
So it's not a real life location. It's all on Second Life. So the Twitter handle that we want is being held by a virtual brothel that is no longer active. So I think the likelihood of us ever getting that account is pretty low.
You have to come in contact. You actually have to come in contact with Twitter themselves, because you know that's the only way you're ever going to get that, right?
Well, they won't. No, I did read it. I read into it, and Twitter won't really do anything at this level. They just, unless you've got a what's it called? Yeah, a subpoena, but it's like basically using your intellectual property. So you say we own Limited Night, so therefore, it kind of The difficulty is I don't even know if who knows. So everyone go and subscribe to at Limited Night and send them our well wishes. So
what we need to do, we need to find out what Second Life server they're on and just raid them. And hold,
I don't think
hold
it's
them
running.
So they give it to Twitter.
Well, the link that is on their Twitter doesn't take you to a location, and I've never investigated Second Life. I've heard a lot about it, but I've never really. Has anyone been on Second Life?
No, but it's full of a lot of things.
Well, I went to a machinima event up in Leicester last year with the head of who was previously the head of RTUK. Invited me down, and because we were doing Respawn at the time, I was really keen to go. And I met this couple. I cannot for the life of me remember what their name was, but they were like heavily invested in Second Life. That was like their machinima thing. They did a TV show, like they explained it like it was kind of like Top Gear, but for Second Life. And it was insane. Like the way that they talked about it, it's like, yeah, we got some pretty famous people from Second Life on, and we filmed it and we recorded it, and we now released that video on Second Life. And it's like, it's difficult because you've got to get all the people together and all the production. And they were talking about like real issues of production issues. It's like their whole life was invested in it. I actually, no more power to them for doing that kind of thing. But it was incredible to see someone. I mean, that's the first person I've ever met that's really kind of invested finances into making a job in a virtual space. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. Like, I know
story?
it goes. A lot of stuff happens on Second Life. Like, people get married and all sorts of random stuff, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it has its own. Well, I mean, when it was in its prime, it kind of had its own economy. Because there were people clothing that actually would buy with.
But then you see, isn't that the same as like World of Warcraft though? Like, I mean, that is a been going for so long now. There's people who go in there and work just to mine gold for other people to use.
Mostly Chinese.
It's like
people.
a job almost to them. Yeah.
But I think like Second Life was always set up to be like that, like because the way that it worked, there are actually like real like brands, like big company brands that actually like advertise in Second Life, which is very odd. Like it's just like one of those weird things. Wow, I can't believe it. Big companies like notice that a lot of people use the platform. Maybe not as much now, but like back in the day, had Steam. I don't know. It's just one of those weird. Never kind of. Does anyone
remember when PlayStation tried to do the same thing? I think it might have been like the launch of the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4.
It was called PlayStation Home.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
I remember
the name anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it was maybe to the same scale, but there was definitely like I think that was their dabble into it, where they're like maybe there's something to this and we can make a little economy going on, but maybe I very quickly realized that wasn't the platform.
Yeah.
Consoles should just piss off from not being consoles now. I've decided.
What does that mean?
Explain.
I don't touch my Xbox anymore because it's just an entertainment system. If you make it too much of other things, it's no longer the thing you bought it for. So, like, when I had the original Xbox, the Xbox, if I wanted to play games, I'd turn the Xbox on, and that was it. And because it was so dedicated to it and so good at it, but now my Xbox One is slow and sluggish, and it's like someone's on there watching Netflix or whatever. So, now I'm on the PC, but I just think consoles need to back away a little bit. It's too much.
Isn't that why people are really into PlayStation though? Because that's kind of where PlayStation have gone. They've kind of dumped a lot of the extraneous bits like the TV and all that. Like I know you can get it, but it's less kind of the whole thing. Whereas Xbox has obviously gone very heavily into that other side of the thing and making it an entertainment system.
There was a big thing about that. There was a big thing with Xbox lost a lot of. It was when PlayStation overtook Xbox in sales and stuff. It was when basically Xbox announced all this stuff. Kinect was one of them, and I actually I'm a big fan of the Kinect. I still use it today, and one day it will be turned off, and it will be a sad day in the Baker household. It's so useful. All I do is shout Xbox off, Xbox on. Xbox.
That's lost us 5 viewers.
Shit.
You're gonna trigger somebody's shit right there.
I did not think
Here's
about
what
that.
I use my Xbox for. I use it for very few things, but I use it for Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I use it as a Blu-ray player.
Mm-hmm.
And I use it to play the NHL franchise because it's not on PC. Those are the 3 things I use an Xbox for.
I didn't even realize the NHL franchise wasn't on PC.
Madden is the same.
It hasn't been on PC.
Playing Madden this just now, and that's just a console exclusive. Can't
But
get on it.
It's cool actually. There is NHL used to be on PC, and NHL 04 I think still actually has a really active PC community that's like an active modding community. So it's like you get like the current rosters and like current jerseys and all that sort of stuff online still because people are dedicated to keeping that game alive because it's like the last NHL game on PC. Yeah.
People come together to like.
And it's like. EA has just really gone downhill, I think, in the NHL franchise since what's it called? Since 2K stopped making games, or stopped making hockey games anyway. 2K was never as good at EA as it, but it gave them competition and it gave them a reason to try. And now since they pretty much are the only ones, it's like they don't have any reason to try anymore. So
that's interesting though, because I've heard the same being said about FIFA, FIFA 18 being like that. A lot of the reviewers are saying that 17, they did like a really good job of improving the game, and 18 they've just got lazy because last year they were by far the outselling football or soccer, whatever way you want to phrase it, game.
Is there much competition anymore? I don't keep up with sports games. Like I played Madden and. I really enjoyed it.
Not for Madden, no.
No, that's the thing. It's like there's no competition.
Madden's not. FIFA has for PES. FIFA does have Pro Evo, and that's the argument at the minute is that PES is slowly going to take it back over again.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing: is FIFA gets so much of EA Sports' budget though because they make so much money. NHL is like lowest on the totem pole for EA Sports. They don't care about that game.
It's because it's kind of an American thing, and that's why. I know, like, you're a very big country with a lot of people, but there's no international sales in that, whereas FIFA's a global sport, and football's a global sport.
I'd say that there's probably still some global sales for NHL, because hockey's a pretty big sport in a lot of other countries, too. And especially a lot of, like a lot of Sweden, it's huge there. Same with Finland.
We love hockey.
Those two countries are like...
Tim's like, I love it. It's my favorite
I love the bit with the stick.
And then they shoot the
and the
wax
ice.
thing.
Ice
Tim.
is his favorite.
Right.
Sweden just won world championships this year. You should be celebrating.
Get in! Now I love hockey. Hockey,
Like,
hockey,
hockey.
hockey.
Just research the whole thing, like, come back next week.
Let me know what a whole pack of dogs win this. Then I'll be in.
The old dogs.
Yeah, old dogs.
It's the old
And you know
dogs.
what the worst thing is I hated NHL 17 and I'm buying NHL 18 this year. It comes out, I think, a day before my birthday. So
just like Call of Duty with me.
Get that.
I really didn't like the last one. I'm gonna be buying it again. So.
Not COD.
Tim, I know you really wanted to try and organize a Let's Play in that really old, like, arcade 3v3 hockey game. I think I'm getting close to figuring it out on how we can record that. I think I have it kind of figured out, but the issue is that you and I might be the only ones who can play just because we're the only ones who own it.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody else has, like, an Xbox 360 and, like, a capture card or an Xbox One, then they can do it.
That's complicated.
I used to have some of those things, but I don't.
I used to. So I've found out something about my my 5-year-old child, which shocks and horrifies me.
Uh-oh.
Go on.
So, as I just mentioned, my child is 5, and to preface this, he's really into Minecraft. His name's Leo, and he plays a lot of Minecraft quite regularly. And I came back from work, and he goes, "Oh, you need to come and have a look at this Minecraft thing. You won't believe it." And I was like,
snap.
"Okay, that's weird." So I walked into his virtual kind of Minecraft room, and he put this sign up on the wall with a switch, and it said on this sign, "Flick the switch, you won't believe it." So I flicked the switch, and it opened a door, and I walked into the other door, and it's just another switch. It goes, "Flick the switch, you won't believe it."
Oh,
and I flicked the switch, and then the doors opened, and there was just some it was a really crap, it was just some guys that turned up. It was just like, I don't know, a load of zombies behind a door.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and went, my 5-year-old kid is doing clickbait.
Oh, snap.
That was my biggest takeaway.
Maybe we should.
Is that he's seen so many adverts that he's like, this is how you do marketing.
You need to get him into Limited Night. We need.
He can just do our marketing for us. He'd be like, click this video. You won't
really
believe
reminds
it.
me of like some of those ads that are like 6 children on a playground were standing in a line staring at the sky. What they saw will shock you or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's clearly nothing, but it's like, I always know, I'm like, there's nothing here, but I look at the picture and I go, I wonder. But I've never clicked on it.
There's
The thing is, one day that's going to be
like,
right. One day that's going to be
is,
something exciting and you're going to miss it because you're going to be skeptical.
Yeah.
the problem is,
there was another one that was like policewoman sitting on a bridge looking at traffic. Like, when people walked up to her, what they saw will horrify you or whatever. And I'm like...
Well, this is the thing that I've watched. I've seen so many of those, and I guarantee I've probably clicked on like 20% of them because I can't help myself. I'm like, I'm gonna hate myself, and I'll click it, and lo and behold, a slow website kicks in with 1,000 adverts, and like a big image flashes up in front of it. It's like, oh, do you know that we're selling this thing? I'm like, I just want to read the story. I see one picture, the same picture on the front, which turns out is like a picture just from any Google search, and 2 sentences. And I'm like, well, they did it again. They got me.
What have they ever been? Like, what has one of those stories been?
Never once have I been like, I can't believe it.
Whoa. My mind is blown.
It's like yesterday on the stream, what made me laugh was, I can't remember, who was it was it Davey that just just typed in the chat as he was doing something. He was just like, he was pissing himself laughing. But it was like, clearly he was on the stream live, not pissing himself laughing.
No, it was Gabe.
It was
Gabe.
Gabe.
It's like, I'm crying right
Gabe
now.
typed, I'm
It's like
crying
she's
with
sitting there
laughter.
silently.
It was silently there, yeah.
I thought it was one of the two of them.
The clickbaits that I always find funny are the ones where it's like a list and it's like 15 unknown celebrity deaths, and then it's like number 6 will surprise you, and you're like, shit, what's number 6?
Why number 6?
And then you get past number 6 and you go, well, I'm this far in now. I guess I've got to see the rest of them. It would be unfair.
There are always galleries, so you got to click through it like 100,000 times or whatever.
Do you guys remember when?
Yeah, but they make like $1,000 on how many times you click through there just because of the amount of advertisements.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when the guy from Jurassic Park had to tell everyone he wasn't dead?
No.
Which one? Which guy?
You know the guy who plays
Which Jurassic Park?
the character of Dennis Negri, the one who gets spat in the face by the spitter lizard.
The fat guy, yeah.
And there was a report that came out, like, this must be a couple of years old, so it's not exactly new news, but there was a report, like, one of those clickbait things where it's like, Dennis Negri dies in horrific accident or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, and everyone was like, oh shit, and they were like tweeting him going, oh my god, rest in peace, mate. And he had to put a Twitter up and he was like, yeah, I'm not dead.
Clickbait, you've done it again.
Well, yeah, that's what they do. They never go for like hot, like really big celebrities. Not the smart ones anyways. They always go for like, you know, celebrities that haven't been in the limelight or like B-lists. And then like, I remember seeing one where it's like Chumlee from Pawn Stars overdosed on weed. which is fucking ridiculous because you can't. I mean, unless you're smoking like 20 joints at a time, and like, you know, that there's no way you could really overdose.
I think the only way you even can overdose on weed is through edibles. I think.
Yeah.
At least that's what I was told, was like, because you can eat so many of them before they kick in.
Yeah.
That you can overdose, but I think it's like if you smoke too much, you just pass out before you ever get to the point where you might have to worry about it.
My personal favourite is always like, remember this beloved childhood star? Like, there's one for Macaulay Culkin, so it's like a screen. Yeah. And then, like, there's a picture of him as he's known now, like, thin and gangly and drug OD'd.
Well, now he looks
And then
fine.
there's, like, a half
apparently
picture
he's back
with, like,
in now.
his width, like, half of his chest showing or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, you won't believe what Macaulay Culkin looks now. And you click it, and it looks exactly the same as the picture on the left. And you're like, God damn it, you did it!
Clickbait, .com must have been super happy when Macaulay Culkin kept yo-yoing, because they're like, oh my god, people aren't actually going to believe this. This one's real, guys. Banana did mention on the chat that I wanted to bring up, which was his favorite conspiracy theory, which is that Avril Lavigne has been dead for 10 years and someone replaced Avril Lavigne. Have you guys heard that one?
I've heard of that one, yeah.
I've heard
the
best one ever.
That she has like a doppelganger who's taken over her life.
It's just like one of those things that no one can disprove it, and it's just like obscure enough for someone to be like, really, Avril Lavigne? Like, it must be true.
That's like with the Beatles. Like, there were a lot of people who were like, you know, they thought George was dead, and they're like on their album, you know, when they're walking through the street, they're like, he has no shoes on, so that means he's dead. And it's like, what?
It's a symbol. It's a symbol.
I think the best
and
one,
it's any one of those conspiracy theories about like when people look for deeper meaning in like SpongeBob or something like that. It's ridiculous.
I think the best one is the fact that Stanley Kubrick made The Shining to make up for the fact that he faked the moon landing.
Did anyone? You know what? We're going to be in real trouble when robots start doing our clickbait for us. That's when the internet really dies.
He's right.
It's the moment.
Get him started on robots.
What is with you with robots, Tim? What?
Robots. We're not going to go into it again. Everyone, you know, you can go and listen to previous podcasts to find out what I don't like
Tim
about
is
robots.
spooked about robots.
He's afraid of them. That's what it is.
The problem with robots for me is it's a real love-hate relationship. I know they will be the end of us, but I still am happy for the development. I think that's a reasonable development and we should have it, but yes, eventually that will be the end of us.
We will
We're not going to be the end of us. You're wrong about this.
There are
it's
friends.
Like when a battery gets to the end of its lifespan and it starts working overtime and it's really good for those last couple of seconds, that's our lives with robots. It's like, fuck, this is amazing. Everyone's dead.
Wow. Very grim. Well, hopefully...
Tim, I promise you, if that happens, it will not be in our lifetime.
Real warning, guys.
Hopefully the
If anyone wants to hire me for their TV broadcast to interview me about my thoughts on robots, you're more than welcome to. You can just get in touch with my business address.
The hurricanes and earthquakes will get us before the robots.
I would just like to point out, by the way, we're talking about this right now, and I'm looking at the chat, but the first recommended video underneath chat is Limited Night Podcast 10. Will AI kill us all?
See? They know. They're listening. They're taking our voices. They're turning it into, like, the algorithm's working. That's the end of it.
But it was there from the beginning. It wasn't like it changed.
They're in our minds.
They're past sentience. They know what's going on.
Wait, hold on. What if we're one of the robots?
What if we're really them now?
What if Mr. is a robot?
Oh God. Boop 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 bop boop boop bop. Yeah.
God,
that shit was great. It's funny, the song that they played in that episode, I remember hearing in a Need for Speed game back on the PS1, which was funny because when I first heard it in SpongeBob, I was like, "That's Need for Speed."
I saw a Facebook thing that said Burnout 3 is like 15 years old or something today.
Wow, I remember.
I was like,
Burnout.
I don't think I played that.
They're fun games.
Really? That's like the best Burnout game except for Paradise.
I nearly killed me and a good friend of mine by playing Burnout Paradise once.
Oh snap!
I thought you were going to say you nearly killed them by replicating Burnout Paradise.
No, we went in a car.
As well, Adam,
we went out drinking, and we had good curry and all the normal things that you normally do. And as you do as an 18-year-old coming home drunk from the pub, is you decide that you're going to make a fort in the garden.
It's true.
So they had like a big parasol, and we had a really big tarpaulin. So we're like, what we'll do, it's really clever. We're going to put the tarpaulin over the parasol, and we'll make it like a massive tent. And we'll go get, like, we're not going to go get sleeping bags or like air mattresses. Oh, no. We'll take it one step further. This, by the way, is about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Parents asleep. This is normal. I go into my room and I take my mattress off.
Oh my
and I
God.
walk my mattress downstairs. Small English house, a lot of noise, all that kind of thing. Dad comes out and says, what are you doing? I just look at him, stare at him right in the face as an 18-year-old drunk with curry sick down my top, and I go, I'm making a fort. And God bless that man. He just helped me. And we built that fort, all 3 of us. And so hold on.
I got to say, I don't
get
think...
crux of my story.
I know, but it was just like a tangent to this part of the story that I was going to say. I don't think I've ever had the desire to build a fort past the age of 7, but anyway, continue.
Well, so we built this fort, and it looked pretty good. Mattress, all that, duvet. It was under the waters, nice skies as well, nothing to worry about. And we thought, well, now we've done all this, we should probably do something. So back upstairs, grab my TV, grab my Xbox, grab the power cables, all of that. Haul that outside, set that up at the bottom of the mattress, and we play what must be about 15 minutes of Burnout Paradise before we pass out asleep. So that's about 3 hours into this adventure. Where I nearly kill him is we woke up or specifically he woke up at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and the moment we had fallen asleep, it started chucking it down with rain. And we were both out cold, and it was heaving it. So much so that halfway through the night, the tarpaulin had split open, and it was just pouring water onto all the electrics, onto the Xbox, onto the TV, onto the mattress, onto everything. And basically, he just woke me up like as hard as he could. He was like, wake up. And I wasn't paying any attention. And he had to go and shift everything inside. He could have easily started some kind of electrical fire, and that would have been the end of it. And that's my story.
Did the Xbox and TV get ruined, though?
No. It was more the case of that the power cables that we'd set up weren't in the waterproof area. So they were outside.
Oh, no.
And that was the concern. The Xbox
what I also like about this story, Tim, is that you're like, so my dad looked at me in the eye and was like, I'll help you build your fort, drunken son. But yet when it started pissing it down with rain and thunder, he's like, fuck him, he's dead to me. And just stayed in the house.
He was probably asleep, to be fair, but that's
I would be laughing.
Yeah.
Thinking about that story. I'd be like, this guy's a fucking idiot. He deserves it.
Oh shit. Well, that reminds me. I promised that I'd tell my story about the first time I got high. That just reminded me.
How was that?
Oh yeah, I guess that is a tie.
Okay, so Another kind of funny aside too was before I get into this video. So, at my old high school, we used to have this thing where you get randomly drug tested. Just like sometimes they just like call you, and I had never done it before up until like the last like 2 weeks of school. And so I went in there, and I hadn't smoked weed at that point, but literally the next weekend I had my first smoke of the weed, as all the cool kids say. So anyway,
all the cool kids say smoke of the weed.
Smoke of the weed. Yes,
that's a thing.
Yeah. See,
Adam, what are you
knows.
doing?
He's got his cool glasses on.
What do you mean?
That's for audience viewers only, I guess.
Anyways, so I went over to my friend's house. His name's Jordan, but I'll just say Jordan. Anyways, and it was me and 2 other guys, my good friend Troy and my other friend Devin, and it was they have like this nice like house that's kind of like a little like secluded from like town, so it's like kind of on the outskirts of it. And
new subscriber!
Oh, we have a new subscriber that just went off. I don't know who it is because I don't have it set up on this thing. But we have a new subscriber. Yay! Anyways.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for subscribing, whoever you were. Sorry.
You can subscribe at LimitedNight.
Yeah. Anyways, so we were there. They have this really he has this really huge backyard that has like a nice patio. So that's where we went out. And we had a bong. We didn't have like a joint or anything. We had a bong. So. When it was my turn the first time, I really didn't know how to do it. So instead of sucking in, I blew out, which caused all the bong water to splash out onto my lap, and it was disgusting. It was the grossest thing.
That's the grossest. The substance that exists at the bottom of a bong is the most disgusting material ever designed.
It's true, but so that was all over me, and everybody was laughing.
Well, I guess
I'll
let you finish.
And it was a great time. Go ahead, Adam. You can have your little interjection.
Well, the tangent is that there's like a vine of that where like the dude's like, oh, is it coming around to me with the bong? He's like, yes, I know how to do it myself. And he goes and he just blows into it and all the water goes out.
Yeah.
My name's Kevin. I just like to smoke in the weed, I blow out that bong water real hard.
But
smoke the weed.
That's not really the end of the story. So
go on.
Right.
So we got pretty high, and I was acting strange because it was like my first time. I was like chasing my friends around, and they thought I was acting really weird. But weird shit started happening.
Chase?
Weird shit started happening. So first we heard like this weird like loud bang, just like from like the woods outside, and we were like, okay, maybe that could be anything. It could just be an animal. So we went back into the house though because it was about like 9 or 8 o'clock at this point. So we didn't really want to stay out in the dark all night. So we were in there, just doing, stupid, 18-year-old, high shit, just, fucking around. And they have like this, their front door, like there's like a big, like, window next to it. And they have like curtains and stuff. And we were just like, chatting, doing whatever we do. And we all 3 of us looked over towards the window for some reason. And we literally thought we saw something pass by the window. And we were the only ones there. And we all like just fucking dropped like silent. Like we were all like, we looked at each other. We were like, did we all fucking just see that? And
did you find out what it was?
No, we never figured out what it was, or if it wasn't like, or if it was even fucking anything, because we were fucking stoned. So it could have been fucking whatever. But it's just kind of weird that we all saw something. And then I started talking to my friend, and apparently they also had some weird shit happen too, where he like they got high once and they thought they started seeing like aliens in the backyard, which was fucking crazy. And
I had a moment where I was under the influence of a substance, and we were out.
A substance.
We were out in England,
like
which
heroin?
very rarely gets snowy, and it
Yeah.
happened to be very, very snowy that day. Like almost like you couldn't see 10, 20 feet ahead of you.
yeah.
And a friend of mine turned around and goes, "Do you see that Yeti?"
What?
And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, "The Yeti over there, do you see that Yeti?" And I'm not friends with him anymore. But
Well, did you look and see the Yeti?
I didn't see any Yeti. I didn't see any Yeti at all.
Oh shit. Has anybody else had any weird paranormal experiences?
Paranormal experience would be interesting. Quick question though. Who here believes in paranormal activities?
I am one of the people who says it could be real. It might not be real. Who knows?
That's kind of my my injection.
It's like, I mean, to me, it's one of those things that's like, just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But
James,
it's one of
I've
those
been
things
very
that's like
quiet.
my friend was an avid believer that his house was haunted, and I could see why, because he had like this like crawl space up in like his bedroom, and it was like he was on like the second floor, so it was kind of like a crawl space on the second floor, which was weird. It was just like a hole in the closet that was sort of like boarded off, but it led to like an area you could crawl into, and he swore that part of his house was just like haunted, and I could see why, because whenever I was over there, we'd always hear like strange noises coming from inside of there. And I mean, that could also be like rats or whatever, but I think it's more fun to believe in that it was ghosts.
So here's why I don't believe it.
Okay.
And fair play, if anyone wants to believe it, I'm not kind of squashing that thought process. But so for me, it's never like somewhere not scary already. It's
That's
never
a
like
fair point.
Yeah.
It's never like I was in the middle of a very busy street and a ghost touched me on my shoulder. And the other point is that if ghosts were to have existed, then we're going to be very oversaturated with ghosts, right?
It's true.
Even if not everyone turns into a ghost, billions and billions and billions of people have lived. If ghost always happens, then at what point do you go, I can't fucking move in this elevator for all the pissing ghosts around me?
Could you
like,
imagine?
His face through the ghost.
Could you imagine like a prehistoric ghost like just witnessing all the shit happening?
Yeah,
around
ghost dinosaurs. Where are they?
I bet
Doesn't that depend on your
Dinosaurs
definition of
don't
why a
have
ghost is a
souls,
ghost?
man.
That's a whole other conversation.
The other thing that he said he did once was him and like one of our other friends. They were home like at his house, and they like set up like an audio recording. And he said like once they played it back, they could hear like a third voice talking like faintly off in the distance.
Classic.
This woman trying to talk to them.
All of that.
I mean, again, I don't know that I necessarily believe it, but
This thing there's so many scare stories. There's so many things, and I am sure that those things probably did happen to those people. But it's like I would hedge my bets against it being like a very bizarre technical glitch over it being a ghost. Like the camera they were recording on somehow doubled back their voice quietly, and it happened to match. Like really unlikely, but I'd still hedge my bet over that than something else.
Well, it's so a lot of like if you ever watch those live ghost hunter programs,
Yeah.
a lot of it is just well, I don't know. I'm sure they believe what they're doing, and I'm on the fence about the ghost thing. Like they, maybe it's a thing we don't know. There's a lot of things as well we don't understand. Maybe that's one of them, but. I think a lot of that is a psychosomatic thing. Like they want it to exist, so when they hear a noise, they're like, "There's that woman there," and they read up their their history of the place, and obviously every place has a history, especially if you go to like an old building, like an olden sailor sign, and there's millions of stories of, people who have had horrific traumatic things happen, and therefore they're trapped.
The thing for me about those programs that always make me laugh is like. They are fucking accurate with finding ghosts, season after season. What season must this be like? It's like 10 years running. It's like if they've probably documented more ghosts than I don't know, like than anyone else has documented. Every episode, it's like
ones,
we saw 6.
My favorite one's like Derek. Is it Derek Acora, the guy who's like? So like they'll sit there and they'll go, right, okay, yeah. And they're like, I'm just trying to communicate with someone. He's like, right, I'm getting a name. It begins with a G. Who's got a family member with a G? And they're like, oh, me. And he's like, right, I'm getting
it's yours.
I'm getting a Gran. I'm getting a Gran. And it's sort of, you can just see the process where he's like, slowly.
I have a grandma, me.
There's a really good South Park episode that talks about that. And it's like, there's like, oh, I don't know who it was, because it was kind of an older one. But they were talking about, like, somebody that like, did that, and, like, he had a show. And Stan basically, like, was trying to convince everybody that he's, like, wrong. So he started doing it, too. And everybody was like, oh, my God, you can talk to ghosts. He's like, no, I'm just fucking tricking you.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
I just want to say, I know we don't interact with chat much in these things, but the suggestion is that we should do a live ghost walk if we reach a certain sub goal. That'd be great. I'd love to do that.
I mean, me and James are in England, and England is the fucking hauntedest place ever.
come to Nevada. We got some, and there's actually a place, actually where Adam and I went. Virginia City is apparently like really haunted. Like there.
We could do a UK versus US ghost off.
Oh shit, he's right.
Where the US team and the
by the
UK
time we
team
get
come together.
2000, maybe we could have saved up enough money to go out there.
Yeah.
Just
So
saying.
there's-
Maybe.
So
Okay, I'm gonna blow your mind about ghosts right here. Okay,
Oh,
you
shit.
ready?
Here he goes.
I'm gonna use a theory. Your mind, whatever is real to you, is real because you are not a human being. You are just a brain in a jar
Oh shit, he's right.
that thinks everything is real.
I hate
Yeah,
Am I a
making
robot
everything
brain
up.
in a jar?
No, just a brain in a
was-
jar
hate-
being stimulated by whatever.
I hate Adam because he started the whole of last week's podcast with a load of facts that made me very uncomfortable about me being a human. Like your tongue
See,
doesn't
now-
fit.
It's like
The one
think about
that annoys me the most is your tongue never fits perfectly in your mouth. But it's so accurate to me, and I've thought it 100 times in my life. And I'm like, my tongue, this isn't right. This isn't designed
you
for
always
this hole.
you also always see your nose. Your brain just ignores it.
That
I
one I
you
don't
always
mind.
see it.
I've always had the problem with the film The Truman Show for the very reason that it makes my brain hurt.
Love that film.
Because
Yeah.
when I watched that film for the first time, I walked outside and went, "What if someone's watching me right now?"
I had
Now, every
I
time
had
I
some
think in the
very
car, I
serious
look at, like,
concerns
the
about
screen.
my Fight Club after I watched the film Fight Club.
You know,
Oh, shit.
you know, in that film, like there's a camera in the dashboard of his car, right behind the radio panel.
Uh-huh.
In that film. Now, whenever I'm like sitting in my car, I occasionally steal a glance at the dashboard just in case there's a camera in it. Like, that's
All right.
how it's affected my
Here's
brain.
the thing, though, about
Doing it now,
that for
no
me
idea.
is the thing about that for me is that there's no way that it would be happening to me because there is nothing in my life that is even remotely interesting enough that anybody would ever
But
let
that's
my
the thing,
entire
that's
life
the thing about
be.
the Truman Show. The Truman Show was just about a boring guy.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
life wasn't interesting. It only got interesting when he tried to run away.
We had Big Brother.
Oh yeah.
That was
bro.
the Truman
There's
Show.
definitely
fair.
nothing
Acid.
interesting about that.
Do you know what? Actually, this is a good. What I want to do is ask a question to whoever's watching or listening, and then they can report back to us either on Twitter at the Limited Night, and we'll read back some of them back next week. But what is the one thing that you have watched on a film and taken away with you afterwards for a long period of time? Like James looking at his dashboard, looking for a camera, like off the Truman Show, like a true insane person. Anything
Okay.
along those lines?
I want to point out, I don't consciously
You know the movie-
think
you
I'm
know-
going to do it. I just noticed when I've done it, I go, why am I looking at the dashboard? Oh, yeah, the Truman Show thing again. Like, it's in,
Alright,
just in my brain, you know?
You know the movie Lights Out?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's the one where the dude like turns off the light and there's like a figure looked like a woman in the
It's
darkness. It's like a silhouette and he turns it back on. It's like this figure silhouette or whatever can only attack you like in the dark. She can't be in the light.
Okay.
I know it's not real, but it's like one of those things that's like I can't fucking walk around my house in the dark anymore because I just like it's just gonna be there and there's nothing I can do about it, even though I know it's not real.
Yeah,
That's
I had
concerning.
that problem with Paranormal Activity, like, when I first watched that
Yeah.
film. I don't tend to get scared, but that was, like, one of those moments where, for about a week after, I was like, it's a bit dark here. Not sure I like it. Now it doesn't bother me, but for, like, a week, I was like, dark. What's happening in the dark?
Yeah. My thing,
Kevin, anything you took away?
I've never really been like, I've never like when it comes to horror movies, I've never really like I'll be like, ooh, it's like spooky in the dark, but like things that like get to me are things that like kind of are like depicting like realistic stuff. Like I remember in Saving Private Ryan, you know, when they first land at Normandy and like, you know, shit hits the fan, everyone's fucking dying and there's blood and guts everywhere. And there's literally a part where a soldier's like dying and he has all his guts out and he's screaming out to his mother.
Yep.
And that
Ugh.
shit just hits me. It's just like, oh my god.
Do you know what the bit of that film that gets me the most is the bit where the guy is stabbing the Jewish
I know
guy?
exactly
yeah.
the bit you're talking about, because that's
Fuck
exactly
me.
the same.
That's
Did
the
you know, though-
saddest- That
Did
is
you
the
know that
saddest I've
apparently-
ever felt.
The you know that beach landing you're talking about? Apparently they showed it to World War II vets, didn't they? Like
Yeah.
when they first launched the film, and they were like, "This is scarily accurate to exactly what it was like on
Yeah.
those beaches." Like
Just
they did
for those-
such a
For those of
accurate
you that listen to the podcast and don't know this part of the scene that we're talking about in Saving Private Ryan, it's basically a combat that gets down to a knife fight between two people. One
Yeah.
person basically overpowers the other person, and very, very slowly stabs them. Just
Yeah.
basically applies his own body
So-
pressure into
Well, what
it.
makes that worse is it's not just that he slowly stabs him, but he's going no,
He's going, no,
while he's doing it.
And the
And
whole,
that-
and
oh.
also
Yeah,
the whole
you're
scene
making me
too.
go now.
The other guy,
Oh.
the wimp, is just slowly ascending the stairs where he could easily come in and save his friend, but he just
That's right,
doesn't
yeah.
because he's so fucking scared. It's just,
Yeah.
oh my god, that movie gets me every time. It's honestly one of my favorites.
I also had
Yeah, that's a good
one
film.
thing that stuck with me from a video game one time. So I don't know how many of you guys have ever played through or seen like towards the end of the game Life is Strange.
No.
Not played it yet, don't
Well, it was a
ruin
game I
La,
didn't
la, la, la.
particularly care for it too much. Wait, did you want to
Fingers on
play
your
that or no?
headphones.
I do want to play it, but you can spoil that, I don't care.
Take your headphones out for a second.
You
We'll,
sure?
we'll do
Yeah,
this.
you can take your headphones off and we'll like wave for you.
Well, that's
Yeah.
no fun, is it?
It might
You're
actually
right,
be
you can
really
say
fun.
it. I basically know more or less what happens in that
It's
game.
not even really the end.
But-
It's like the end of like the third or fourth episode of it. So anyway, okay. Spoiler alert. This is your final warning. Anybody who wants to
Game is
take
old.
off whatever now. Anyway, the game is old. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying just in case.
You're fine.
Anyway, so like there's the character. I don't know why this got to me because I didn't really care too much for the characters in the game or how they felt or anything. The game wasn't particularly like great to me, but there was the scene where one of the characters, Chloe, like throughout the whole game, she's trying to find her friend like Rachel or whatever. And it turns out that like this whole time she was already dead, and like she finds her body in like buried where they always used to hang out, and it's like that fucking got to me like so much. It's like I don't care about this game. Why do I care so much about this one scene and this character who like Chloe is a character who I have hated through the entire game. Why am I feeling sad right now for this person?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things that stuck with me like for days afterwards, and it's like I don't know why it stuck with me, but it did.
That's
See that?
And
That game seems like an odd choice for a prequel to me because I know vaguely what happens in the game. As you say, it's been out a while, but they prequeled it, haven't they? They're just doing the prequel right now, and it seems
Yeah.
odd to me.
So
I don't know.
the weird thing about it is the game had this unique feature where you play as a character who can like kind of travel, like go back and forth through time. Like so she can rewind time like for a certain amount and then go forward in it and all that sort of stuff. The thing that to me was odd about the choice of prequels, you play as the character Chloe instead. It's like you took away the one thing that sort of made your game unique from every like Telltale game ever. I know it's not Telltale, but it's essentially a Telltale game.
Yeah, it's
But
same
you took
sort of
away the one
concept,
thing
yeah.
that made it like the big part of it was that she could like time travel pretty much, and you took that one part out. Now it's just the character that I fucking hated the most is who you're making me play as.
So
And
you
it's not even
said
the same voice actress because it's like the voice actor strike right now or whatever, the video game
yeah,
strike
it's
that they're
the
doing. She
strike on it.
couldn't be on. For
You
that.
saying about like time travel there, it's just reminded me of another moment in a film that I guess like emotionally hit me, even though arguably it shouldn't have done, and it's the film Butterfly Effect.
Oh,
I don't know if anyone's seen that.
I've seen it. It's pretty good. I like
The risk of spoiling it. So if you don't want to hear about the film Butterfly
That film
Effect,
is old as shit. Come
Yeah.
on, guys.
Yeah, but it's
But,
one of those things that you just put out a warning just in case.
yeah. So, but essentially, Ashton Kutcher sort of has the ability to travel through time and change the way his future is, for lack of a better terminology. And then lots of bad things keep happening, and he essentially discovers that he is the reason why because he's a time anomaly.
Right.
So he goes back into the time he was in the womb and strangles himself on his own umbilical cord.
Is that how it
And-
ended?
That's how it ended.
What a spoiler!
Oh.
God damn it!
And it is it's actually really like because like it
I don't
shows
think.
you
All
before
right,
that
let's
all the
break
times
that. Let's break that
could've-
down a little bit here. Can a fetus even do that?
Well, probably not, Tim, but it's a film. Jesus, suspend disbelief, dude.
I guess. So we're coming up
Guys,
to time.
did you know
or-
that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time?
I
What?
just want
Also,
to interject with one more thing when it comes to something that affected me in a video game, if that's all right. So, you guys know Half-Life 2, right?
So,
Mm.
You know the
Yeah.
crab zombies.
yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I played through that game and I didn't know about this, but then it kind of like retroactively what I learned. So apparently, when you know, like as there's screams, if you play them in reverse, it's the people like screaming like "God, please help me," like "God, like kill me, please." It's pretty fucked up. When I learned about that, I was like, oh, Oh, now I feel really bad. I killed so many of them.
It's retrospectively going.
Well,
Oh, maybe
they
this is
said,
not
God,
a good thing.
please kill me. So.
Well, yeah,
Is this
but
how
like,
Hitler felt?
You were saving them, Kevin. That's what you were doing.
yeah, it's just really hard to listen to because it's like really fucked up. But yeah, anyways, go on. Sorry.
So
Got
since
dark.
we're coming up on time, I don't know if we wanted to switch over to the limited movies game or
The limited movies
that's the segue
game.
again.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Shitty segue.
We
I'm
need
actually
a
gonna
new
turn
name.
this off 'cause I
We need a new name.
can't see shit with these glasses on. They're actually
While
just
you're
roll
setting up the limited
glasses.
movie game, Adam,
Kevin, we were going to get a jingle. For
I'd also
limited
like
movies
to just
game.
give a brief
Well, I don't
brief mention to
make
something
them.
that T-Boy said in chat,
Classic
which I think
T-Boy.
is the best vote so far for the answer to Tim's question, which is that his brother told him that all the firemen in Backdraft were real and they actually died during the filming.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
God.
that's horrific.
That reminds
That's
me.
horrific.
That's some
Um,
epic lying from T-Boy's brother there.
I used
Oh
to
my
have I
God.
used to have a neighbor that
We'll shout out
that
everyone's
while,
during the next.
while I was younger
Yeah.
convinced me that she was the like his sister was the alien from Signs, and I believed him the whole time. And then I rewatched it. I'm like, it's a CGI alien.
Harking back to theory. Did anyone hear the recent theory that Signs is actually more about inner demons than about aliens?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty obvious that it's about that. Like, that it's about that anyway.
Oh, really?
it's like this dude's like clearly like he's like a preacher who like lost his faith in God, and then the fucking alien's weakness is water, which is actually pretty clearly holy water, and they also kind of do look like demons rather than aliens.
Old news.
I digress here, but it's like
Tim, I would also like to point out that we invented a name for this game show last time. It was Limited Night. It was LNDB.
Sorry?
right
LN what?
LNDB instead of IMDb.
So Limited Night Database?
Yes.
I did
Yeah,
not.
okay.
You lot spitballed
No.
it. I'm just
Adam,
saying
go,
that was
go on, Adam. Start the game.
What if we
Right,
ever
so-
want
Shut up,
to make
Tim.
our own database service? Now we already
Shut
use
up,
the name.
Tim.
okay. So last
I took you
week
for being an Eagles fan.
had the rules changed from how it always was, which is whoever could guess the most median of the three guesses.
Mhm.
Last week we changed it to who could get the closest to 5.0. This week we're
Still
doing a
change.
new
He's like the
who
Mad
can
Hatter
guess
host.
the highest score of the genre that I'll throw out to you.
The
First to
highest
2
number?
points wins. Highest score of whatever genre I
Oh,
throw
okay.
out to you.
All right.
Good
First
thing we-
genre is
Comedy.
Is what? Comedy.
Who
Okay.
could guess the highest rated comedy on IMDb, like of the three of you?
Comedy. Highest
Yeah,
rated
so-
comedy.
I guess a comedy that's really good, that'll be highly rated.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna say Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, that's a good pick.
that's
It's a
pretty
good shout.
pick. I'll give him that. Yeah, that's a good shout. Jesus, comedy.
Why am I struggling to think of any comedy film ever?
I don't know.
Do we have like a backup film that we can pick if we just can't think of a film in that genre?
I'm gonna go Ace Ventura.
Oh, that's an excellent shout. See, I'm thinking something 90s because 90s
The
comedy
Emoji
was the
Movie,
best
sorry.
comedy. 90s comedy was the best comedy ever.
I mean, yeah.
I really can't think of a single comedy film. I am vamping and
Just come
dying
up with
on
one.
my sword.
There must be
How
one.
do you not have a comedy film?
Do you want me to give you one, Tim?
Yeah, give me one.
Dumb and Dumber.
That's a great one. I'll have that.
Okay,
All right, here we go.
You win now. I want your point.
Not Dumb and Dumber 2 though, because
No.
That's just-
obviously.
Nobody wants
All right, and the winner of round one is Kevin with Shaun of the Dead at an
Damn.
8.0.
that. That was a
8.0.
good choice.
Jim came in
That's
second
good.
place with Dumb and Dumber at a 7.3, and James in last, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, 6.9.
6.9? That is a great film.
Yep.
How
Monsters.
dare they?
Okay. Since comedy's not the next one, I just want to see what Ace Ventura 2 is.
Are you still checking what the
Do
chat
Dumb and
say as
Dumber
well,
too?
Adam, like you did last week, or not?
Oh, we should do Dumb and fucking hell.
They
We
made it.
should do the chat.
They made
The
it.
chat has got
Happy Gilmore.
Junior Pet
Happy
Detective.
Gilmore's a good shout.
Right.
And
Okay.
Liar Liar.
Oh,
All right, do you want me to put in some of theirs just to see where they rank?
Sure.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
on. We've got
Do
some time.
Liar Liar. So Liar Liar had a
Saturday, we don't need
6.8.
6.8.
Well,
not
no,
great.
Jim Carrey, not rated.
And, What were some of the other ones? What was the other one? Oh, Happy Gilmore.
Back to the
Okay.
Future,
Gilmore would be a
Happy
good
Gilmore.
shout.
Yeah.
I don't
Happy
know,
Gilmore is actually a
That's the
good
Future
one.
really a comedy
Let's see here.
film?
Happy Gilmore had a 7.0.
That's
Happy
And
Gilmore.
I'll
great.
just do Back to the Future, even though
I'd
it
say
could
it's
be.
more sci-fi than comedy, although there is some funny bits in it.
Back to the Future is not a comedy.
Back to the Future would have won it, but it's,
Oh, snap.
we're gonna say one, it's not a comedy. And
I
two,
would. Comedy.
I don't know. I
Uh,
consider it
okay.
comedy.
Sci-fi thriller.
No, I wouldn't say
Back,
it's a
well,
thriller.
not a thriller, but anyway.
Sci-fi
So
horror.
Kevin has 1 point. Are we doing first to 2 or first to 3? What do you
First
think,
to
Tim?
two. I think first.
I
to
would
two
say
works.
first to two.
All right. All right. Next up, the genre. Action. Go. That wasn't me saying action like on a movie set. That was the genre.
The Raid
Get your claps.
Redemption.
The Raid Redemption.
That
Yeah.
sounds like it should not be a highly rated film. It's too many words.
Do
I'm
you
gonna go.
classify the Hunger Games as action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go Hunger Games then.
I'm going to go with Fast and Furious 7.
Oh, Fast and Furious. Why didn't I think of Fast and Furious?
Best 7. Why is there
Can I
not?
do 6 or 7? 6 or 7? 6 or 7? Which is the one where Paul Walker dies?
Wait, oh no, wasn't it like Furious 7? Huh?
I don't know. Is that the one where Paul
No, I
Walker
think it
dies?
was just Fast and Furious. It was Fast and Furious 7, but I think everyone just called it Furious 7.
Best.
I've won this.
Oh no,
if
I
it's
think it
one.
was Furious 7.
I think it was Furious 7. I think it was just
Was it?
called Furious 7.
Why
yeah,
is
they,
it so hard to look up?
they
I mean,
never
you say
they-
that, but I'm looking at the DVD right now, Tim, and it says Fast and the Furious 7 on the side of the spine.
He's
All right,
cheating.
Well, the winner of the point is Kevin with the Raid Redemption
Damn
at
it.
7.6.
Oh my god.
the Raid
Furious 7
Redemption?
and Hunger Games tied with 7.2.
What
So
did- what
Kevin
did-
is the winner of
3.7.
LMDB.
So
Point-
the
no,
Raid.
on-
Okay, I wanna plug the Raid Redemption because it's a fucking awesome action movie. So, Raid Redemption is an Indonesian action film where it's basically 30 cops go into this building with a
The
bunch
Raid.
of like drug dealers and shit, and they basically have to fight their way out, and it's
Oh.
epic. And they have the coolest fight
Wait.
scenes, and then there's a
Is that
sequel,
not
and
the
it's good.
sequel?
No, the sequel's just the Raid 2.
I'm gonna look at some of the chat now. So
I think it's
Die
called the
Hard
Raid
is
Redemption
one.
over here. I think it's just called The Raid.
It might be just the Raid. They might
No,
have-
there was two different. I think it was two different movies, isn't it?
Is it just like a
there's two
reboot?
movies.
I've
No.
seen it. It's
Die
like
Hard
a-
would have won with an 8.2.
Yeah,
Die Hard.
Blade
that
Runner.
was my
Shout.
that was my second. Blade
Damn.
Runner's more.
I got
sci-fi.
fucked.
Yeah, why do I-
I'm much
why
better
I-
because I have a lot more.
Blade Runner
I have-
also had an 8.2.
What about Heat? Heat would have been one I would have chose too.
Heat.
I'm doing Happy Hardcore right
No,
here,
that's
real
not a
quick.
bad shout.
I would have gone with the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the three-breasted lady,
Total Recall.
That's the one.
Uh,
I nearly
which is
said
ironic
Bad
because I
Boys.
couldn't remember the name Total Recall.
Boys
That's
2.
ironic.
Heat,
I love Bad Boys. Never speak ill of it.
Heat
Bad
had an
Boys.
8.2, so that would
New,
have won.
New Boys for
Yeah.
Life.
Do you know what
Ev-
else I love?
everybody-
The film Executive Decision.
And then what was one of the other ones? Creed.
Creed has been pitched, although I don't know whether you call that action film really.
It's more
But
like a drama.
I mean, wait, Creed 2016 or 15? 2015, right? Creed had a 7 points. That one had a 7.6, and then 2016 had a 6.6. I'm assuming they made the 2015 one.
Oop.
And then
Do you know what I just
Yeah.
realized?
What?
yes.
Did anyone start recording Audacity?
No.
Nope.
It'll be okay.
I just looked over at my program. I was like, I never pressed start.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Oh,
this is
did
the
you
audio
see-
you're getting.
Yeah.
Sure is.
All right.
So
Well, that was the end of that.
Well, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
I like
all
it when
right.
it's medium. I think that's
What a
more-
way to end. That was the end of that.
No, okay. I'm gonna do the outro. All right.
All right, I've got. Oh,
Oh.
sorry, go, you go.
I was just gonna say this
I'll
about.
save it for the next podcast.
Yeah, okay. So this about wraps it up, ladies and gents. If you found this live podcast enjoyable in any way, please consider giving us a sub and a like. We would really appreciate it. We're doing a sub drive right now. And, we really want to hit those goals because we want to release some epic content for you guys. So I just said epic. Anyways, also follow us on the Twitter at @TheLimitedNight because we can't
That's what my
get
5-year-old says.
because we can't get the other one. And like our Facebook page at /LimitedNight too as well. If you like to talk to converse with us one-to-one or anything like that, join our Discord. Links in all these links are in the description below. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you guys next Friday at about 9 p.m. GMT, and we'll see you then. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone. PUBG?
Bye.
Anyone for PUBG?
Bye.